Hi everyone. I went to a community engagement activity recently at our local high school as presented by Woolworths, who wanted to redevelop our local shops. And it was held in the early evening. As a form of ideal speech, it was interesting to reflect on. There was a lot of questions and a lot of heated debate, which Woolworths allowed to a certain point, and then they shut it down when they themselves got a bit upset. I don't know that they expected to have so many ex-public servants in the room who wanted evidence for Woolworths' decisions. When they couldn't manage the questions and engagement, probably from a vocal few, they broke people up into tables with butcher's paper to get them to reflect on what they did and didn't want in the redevelopment, and then brought that back together and talked about what people had actually written down. There was a level of equality in that as an approach, because it gave those that didn't feel comfortable to verbally engage publicly another way of engaging. In terms of the ideal speech condition, like situation that from Habermas, though, ultimately Woolies controlled the whole activity and determined how it would be approached. There was no discursive understanding, and ultimately Woolies turned around at the end and said, well, regardless of what you all think, the ACT government will decide anyway. I was sitting with our local member of the Legislative Assembly, and she asked me what I thought, and I said, well, I think as an activity it's probably a great opportunity for Woolworths to legitimise their development application. So from an ideal speech perspective, it probably comes down to money and power. I don't think there was an agreed understanding prior in terms of what was wanted as an outcome. So there was not that care element as an ideal benefit of free speech. And I also think in terms of equality, it was held at a time when families were probably having dinner, so there wasn't a reasonable representation from the community. So it was very interesting to observe, but I think as an example of free speech, it really came down to one of money and power, not what Habermas had envisaged. Thanks. All right, bye.